See, again, a test is
Assessment.
a test is something in the knowledge domain. See, now again your intellect is speaking. Okay, so we are restricted by our knowledge
Define
of
a
test.
system. Let's talk.
So these are what the test would be a behavioral assessment. It has to be observed. It has to be an observant behavioral assessment.
Or make this emotional competency as necessary or compulsory. Then only the guy gets promotion. So that when he is having the ladies on board ship, at least he is able to treat them.
Absolutely. I think that's a very good suggestion, and we'll put that also in our recommendation. That a behavioral assessment of dealing with women. Again, like now for Captain, if somebody, a lady came and cried in front of him, he would feel upset. And so he doesn't know whether to be firm with her. You know? And many women may take advantage of that also. You know, I am the chairman of a society, and we have there are 40 houses there. There's one unit in which they owe us about 3 lakhs. And that unit was owned by one grandfather, was given to the granddaughter. And we haven't seen the granddaughter at all. And the mother is coming and insisting that we give her the equal rights. And we're not able to do that because there's a process, a legal process, there's a power of attorney, and the person has to, the daughter has to give the power of attorney, but none of the members of society have seen that daughter at all. We don't even know if she's dead or alive. And the mother is coming, and she comes and creates such an emotional drama all over. First time, when I took over chairman, I found they were doing some construction there. So we went to the police and complained some unauthorized thing. She said, no, I'm authorized. Then we went over there. And the police said, she's not the person, the owner is not here. She bought her younger daughter. And the younger daughter is about 10 years younger to the girl whom the agreement, you know. And then we proved to the police this is not the person. So all this drama which is created, emotional drama, women have become so adept at, can really destroy man's ability to take decisions. So I stood firm there. Then we had an AGM and she came and created a ruckus. Luckily one of the colleagues, he took a video of that. And then we passed a resolution that all our AGMs will be videoed just for this woman. She came the next time, created ruckus. She created a paper which says this is the power of attorney. A lot of things. Even now she's trying to now separate the society. So where the Prevention of Mental Harassment Against Women Act? And is it possible that that could be used? So there is this area of concern that women can misuse the power which is so created.
That's why this act has been slightly below down, no?
Is it? Are you aware?
Yeah, it should not be the person should not be arrested on a complaint.
Right.
It has to be first investigated. Previously, when it was the act was passed that time, just go and complain, and the whole gang will be arrested. Husband and father and mother, son,
Culprits are on both
all
sides.
are. But now Supreme Court, because of this.
The basic rule of life is that we use people, we don't abuse people.
Same thing has happened in SC Act also, no? You can't just arrest by merely a single one-sided complaint.
Yeah.
It has to be investigated, means it will be then both-sided.
So the act has a provision that there's a committee, the head of the committee to be a woman, there should be the other woman in the committee, etc. There's very less space for men in that. And there should be a social person also part of the committee. Okay? And if any workplace that is assured, even if a sales girl is coming to my office and one of my employees misbehaves with her, or she experiences misbehavior, she can complain. Okay, it's not only for my employees. So there's a lot of power given to women in this. Maybe even women don't know about it. Now, if something like that, like he rightly said, then that goes to the committee. They are supposed to inquire into this whole thing and create an entire report, and that report has to be submitted to the local authority. So every area will have a local authority, they have to be determined, and then the action has to be taken. So it's taken as a criminal misdemeanor. And every year, organizations are supposed to actually send a report.
Annual report.
Annual report to the state, saying that, okay, we've had so many complaints or no complaints, etc., etc. So it's very, but this now, maybe the time has come to have something very similar, may not be so stringent, but then to exercise it on board during the interim period till we have women on board. My invitation is that, irrespective of the women or no, we have identified those men on board who have the emotional intelligence. So that's why we conduct a program on the intellectual intelligence, emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence. Alright? So, in a way, after hearing Captain A.P. Singh's version today of how women have developed themselves in a psychic way and have that power to create, I understand why this program is more understood more by women than with men. Because men look at it so logically, and there's more acceptance for this book on spirituality leadership by women than men. Earlier I was making men wrong, now I'm very sad for them. I mean, I'm being very sorry that they have not developed themselves, and is their lack of education which is creating this. So, the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Reversal Act 2013 was enacted to ensure safe working practices for women and to build up enabling work environments that respect women's right to equality, status and opportunity. An effective implementation of the Act will contribute to the realization of their right to gender equality, life and liberty, equality in conditions. The sense of security at a workplace will improve women's participation in work, resulting in economic empowerment and inclusive growth. So one area which on boardship we need to make is to ensure that we have a secure place for women to work. So there's this case in one of our research, we find that the girls are going on board and sometimes they have to use the working outfits from ship, and the working outfit is not fitting them. And it's becoming very embarrassing for them. Plus, the work has to be done, so the men are having a good time because the working outfit is making them look ridiculous. Now, according to the Act, even if you ridicule them, then that's called sexual harassment. Okay? So, there's a lot of things we need to do on board a ship to make it compatible for women to work. The full scale of the problem is not known given the difficulties in documenting the experience of those who have experienced workplace sexual harassment. However, available studies on sexual harassment show that it's certainly prevalent in India today. Like I told you and I repeat, most of the women interviewed say they don't want to sail with Indian officers. So there's something happened amongst Indian seafarers which seem to be depriving them of the ability to handle women properly.
Is this because Indian men are not much exposed to how Indian women behave?
No, I think it's. See, we are exposed to how Indian women behave, and we are definite that we know this is how women behave. Because it's basically the patriarchal system which has happened.
Psyche.
I believe 200 years back this was not the case in India. 200 years back, women were one of the most respected.
Psyche need to be changed or transformed.
And somehow our education system changed, where a lot of education system was only on the left brain development, on the logical part, and not on the right brain. Okay, and a lot of conversations are created, like, men don't cry, but if you look at some of our mythological figures in the past, the women were so powerful and the men were also equally, it's an equal relationship to a great extent.
Yeah.
But this patriarchal system has somehow been encouraged in a certain area. Maybe even the patriarchal system had wonderful systems in place to develop both man and woman. But something has been removed from the syllabus of family life. And this has happened. So the matriarchal system, I told you, is a very powerful system. where all the assets are mainly given to the woman, and the elder's uncle looks after the, and we find that there are various cases where these systems have sustained families for hiring. So in the ancient Indian system, there was this need for a grandmother, grandfather. They were the psychologists. There's no psychology in Indian context. And they used to tell the children how to behave. So if a child had a problem, they used to go to the grandfather, grandmother and say, this is what I'm experiencing, this one, and they'd say, no, so this is how, the system is all broken up into units, and to a great extent, these separated units from the family will also be creating this. So people are not speaking about it, people are not sharing, and that sort of becomes a burden on them. So men, when they talk separately, when they in groups and talk, there are many men who would agree that marriage is not to be, that you've seen that post which comes, get married, happiness is not the only thing in life. There are many men who self-pity, who believe they are victims of marriage, and in a way I've been through that phase too, and certain education programs have empowered me to understand who I really am and how I was causing the matter for that. So the conversation, bringing men to speak. What are they spoken? The first page which you showed that told you what the men have spoken earlier. But not which you have spoken. Including a fact that the woman says, okay, khana khaya ki nahi? Mother says, the child, khana khaya ki nahi? And the son feels, why is she bugging me? Why is she after me? So the gender sensitization here would include where man is concerned to help them understand how a woman thinks, help him understand how he thinks, because we have sort of decided, we have said this is how we should be, and that compartmentalization that which we are creating for that man is where the problem could be. And if our parents and brothers and sisters are going to keep doing that, then there's no solution here. So he needs to come out and speak. So I think that the Me Too movement which is in US, there needs to be a Me Too movement for men also. A Me Too movement of what is in mind, why is it like this? We've all been victims of this where, beta is not good enough, he can't tame his wife. We've all been victims of this. So, kind of answers the question, but yeah, it's a problem which we have to collectively bring up as a society. And so, under this, so just to share with all of you, once again, Nancy was supposed to take this session. He's got held up in the High Court. But if you all do want, I can arrange for him to come and meet you, or can have a conference call and we can share anything which you really would like to understand about. But this is a very wonderful handbook which has been prepared, which sort of, let's say, we look at the chapter 2, who is an aggrieved woman? This is very important. Who is an aggrieved woman? The Act recognizes the right of every woman to a safe and secure workplace environment, irrespective of age or employment, work or status. So don't think that a 70-year-old woman working for you cannot, right of women working or visiting any workplace, whether in the capacity of regular, temporary, ad hoc, daily wage, even your maid at home, even the maid at home, you are vulnerable to, okay? It includes all women, whether engaged directly or through an agent, including a contractor, with or without the knowledge of a principal employer. They may be working for remuneration or on a voluntary basis or otherwise. Their terms of employment can be expressed or implied. Further, she should be a co-worker, contract worker, probationer, trainee, apprentice, or called by any other such name. The Act also covers a woman who is working in a dwelling place or a house. So agreed woman working, visiting a workplace, a student, even a student in classroom, a student also could be. So what is a workplace? A workplace is defined as any place visited by the employee arising out of during the course of an employment, including transportation provided by the employer for undertaking such a journey. So if you are like the Uber case you know about, where you're going from one place to another and your company is providing your transport and the taxi driver acts funny with a girl, the company can get in trouble. Okay, so they have to, they are providing the transport, that is. It also includes all workplaces owned by Indian or foreign company having a place of work in India. So now, this is where the Indian shipping, the Indian officers sailing on board foreign ships are not coming in, but then the way to put that on the gamut of the RPS rules, the recruiting and placement rules, is the only way we can put a specific control in place. And my invitation to the government would be to address this issue through that, through RPS rules. How that can be taken on board to impact the foreign organizations. Many of the organizations would welcome it. I know Maersk has already got a provincial sexual harassment act for men and women. India is only against women, but for Maersk it is for both men and women. So a lot of places are mentioned here. That defines the unorganized sector is also included here. The unorganized sector is any enterprise owned by an individual or self-employed workers engaged in the production, sale of goods, providing service of any kind. Any enterprise which employs less than 10 workers. All women working or visiting their workplaces, such as all this is mentioned over here. Okay. So that's who's an agreed woman. Now, the most important, I'll ask Rohit, why don't you read 2.3?
What is sexual harassment at the workplace? Sexual harassment includes anyone or more of the following unwelcome acts or behavior, whether directly or by implication, namely 1. Physical contact or advances, 2. A demand or request for sexual favors, 3. Making sexually colored remarks, 4. Showing pornography, and 5. Any other unwelcome physical, verbal or non-verbal conduct of a sexual nature.
Go ahead.
2.4.
Yeah.
2.4. Key elements of workplace sexual harassment. Very often situations that start off innocently end up in inappropriate and unprofessional behavior. It is important to remember that workplace sexual harassment is sexual, unwelcome, and the experience is subjective.
It is subjective. What do you mean by that? The objective is, this is object, okay? This is an object, all of us can see it as the bottle. Subjective is how that subject sees it, not how you see it. If a woman feels she's been harassed, period.
No mis-
Subjective to the person.
How does she take it?
How does she take it?
It is the impact and not the intent that matters, and it always occurs in a matrix of power. It is possible that a woman may
So,
experience
I want to explain the impact and intent. So, intent and impact can be understood from this. We said being, doing and having, right? So, intent is in the domain of where impact is in the domain of
having.
So if you add, somebody, woman has gone through that impact and you say, well, my intent was not that, it doesn't help. Okay? Because what has been defined, and in spirituality leadership what we define is, it is the having which defines the being. We can do that. If I have a big tummy now, it's my being. Okay? So I'm changing my being to reduce myself. Right? So if you're having a divorce, it is because of the being of the people. So can you get the gravity of that particular line?
Yes.
It is the impact and not the intent. Right?
It is possible that a woman may experience a single instance of sexual harassment or a series of incidents over
Can you speak louder, please?
It is possible that
Achha, why are you reading? What is the intent of your reading? See, the impact is it's very low, right? What is the intent? I told you to read, that's why, right? So now read with the intent of being the author of that. I mean, I'll ask you a question on that and you have to pass that.
it is possible that a woman may experience a single instance of sexual harassment or a series of incidents over a period of time. It is important also to remember that each case is unique and should be examined in its own context and according to the surrounding circumstances as a whole. The following table highlights the subjective nature of the experience and the impact it may have on the person involved, irrespective of the intent of such behavior. To enable prevention of sexual harassment at the workplace, it is critical to recognize and differentiate between welcome and unwelcome sexual behavior.
So when you say welcome sexual behavior, how this works is, we have said in spirituality leadership, we say watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become action. Watch your action, they become habits. Behavior ऐसा नहीं बनता. And then habit become your behavior. This creates your destiny. Okay. So they observe behavior. This is what I said, Captain Rizvi. Just by thinking about intellectually the thoughts, we may all have thoughts. Okay, some test you give, and he's got the thoughts have given. Okay, all the thoughts are saying that he's correct. Doesn't mean his behavior will be correct. So he can sort of create thoughts, manufacture thoughts at that time. That doesn't mean his behavior. So we have to see the behavior. From the behavior we go back to the thought. Okay?
To correct the behavior.
Yeah. Now, so in this case, if I say, okay, there's an incident over here, and if the female says, the woman says that I was sexually harassed, and the man says no. Right? Now we're having an inquiry. So we have to understand the behavior. From the behavior, we have to go back to the inquiry and see what habits this person has. So if you say that you interview a few people and say, okay, he talks like this, demeaning about women.
The thoughts will be true.
Yeah, and from that, okay, the action, the word, thoughts will be true. Okay, so this is a domain of intent. This is a domain of having impact. Right. So to get the impact, the behavior has to be. And we go backward integration. This is what we do in the human element of root cause analysis. Go ahead. So unwelcome and welcome behavior, right? So the first step to prevention is recognition. The workplace sexual harassment behavior that is unwelcome, sexual in nature, subjective experience, impact not intent is what matters, and often occurs in the metrics of power. Okay, the power means the authority. So in any working area, there is a responsibility, authority, and accountability. So we've given this person the power to be captain, or this power to be chief engineer. Whereas another person is the rating. The way you look at the sexual harassment will be different, because if it's in the position of power, it's much more severe. Okay, so what are the unwelcome behaviors? Can you?
Unwelcome behavior. Feels bad, one-sided, feels powerless, power-based, unwanted, illegal, invading, demeaning, cause anger, sadness, cause negative self-esteem.
And the welcome?
Welcome behaviors are
feels good, reciprocal, in control, equality, wanted, legal, open, appreciative, happy, positive self-esteem.
Alright, so what type of behavior from authority will leave people feeling good, reciprocal, in control, equality, wanted, legal, open, appreciative, happy, positive? Aggressiveness, or a passive authority, chocolate dega, or the compassionate one, ruthless compassion. Which one? Ruthless compassion. And is compassion the competence of a male? Unfortunately, no. Hi, welcome. Please. Please stay here. You can use this. So we have. Thanks.
Full house now.
Full house. That's Sunidhi there and what's your name?
Kritika Maturika.
Kritika. You also see?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sailing as?
The lecturer.
Wow. So good. So you got competition. Which company you?
With more.
Pollens. How are you, ma'am? So we have all of us here and you are missing. So those you know, she's also heads the first women's wing of seafarers in India, and thank you for coming. So I wouldn't be able to go back.
No, it's all right.
What
That's
we've done in a nutshell is we first captured all the women-men issue from this group of people, and we had a session of understanding ourselves not as units of what you're seeing, but as body, mind, and intellect, and using our ancient philosophy to get into what the body does, what the mind does, the intellect does, and how the whole past hunting, agrarian technology stage has made us who we are. So we can keep blaming our generations and our forefathers for our problems. And the different very patriarchal approach and the matriarchal approach to this whole thing. How women have been suppressed, and how that suppression has made them suppress whatever they in control. And the only thing they were in control of the family, and they suppress their sons. And how that is impacting the society, and that's where we are. And then now we are just going through the wonderful guide called the Prevention of
Sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment, of course, you must be aware of, came in Friday. But this is the first time I saw this wonderful book by the Government of India, the Ministry of Women and Child Development, which we're just going through to understand and make people sensitive here to what are the aspects they need to consider. And many things which what we're realizing is that what we would normally think it's innocently done. You know, on the other side, we see that this wonderful book here is not implementable on board today. Because you may be under a foreign flag, you are an Indian. We've done a research on some of the women who have sailed and some of the pretty horror stories we've heard, very saddening. Captain. So Captain here has not sailed with women, but Captain Rizvi is at Eastern Academy, and DK Singh is there. These are youngsters who belong to a group called Being Deserving. Remember, Priyadarshini and the girl who is called the LFG group, what's her name? What Michelle? Amu Devraj. They are part of the same group. So this is who we are. I believe the sailing boat which reached Goa has kept a lot of women away from here. They are interested in this. The seafarers, the sailors who have joined there. They would have some more people here. So welcome on board, and before we start, can you define the purpose of being here and what are the issues which you'd like to sort of highlight as of now, so that you can see if it fits into issues for the women seafarer on board. Currently.
I think the most serious.
Just speak a bit loud because I think you're on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Currently, the most serious situation which is being faced by the women seafarers is the job. Now, anybody will ask me that job is also a scenario faced by the guys, why it is especially, I'm talking about the girls. The thing is, guys can still have, opportunity to appear for the interview. If girls are denied, I think it's almost 80% of companies are just denying on the face that we do not hire women. And that is where the challenge is, because then they are limited to only 20% companies to, appear for, and then they're also guys. So that is the most challenging thing which is being faced by women seafarers right now. And we thought it is only with the junior ranks, like we thought it's only, with the cadets, who are just passed out from the college, and they are getting difficulty in jobs. But it's not true. Even the senior ranks, I can tell you, girls with class 2 tickets, they are looking for jobs and they are not even getting opportunity for third engineer, forget about the promotion, and they are having, good experience of 18-20 months, on the rank, and they are not getting jobs. Because same thing they are being said, we don't think that.
Yeah.
So that is a major thing which right now, the women seafarers are facing. And we need some kind of solution to it, which we are trying to work out, but still, there is long.
So one thing, when you understand from our ancient philosophy, what we find is that men and women have been designed differently. Okay? And due to the nature of our past, the men have developed themselves intellectually, the women have developed themselves emotionally, which is required to keep everything. And why emotionally? Because you can see a woman as a childbearing, bringing children, bringing the family up, and at a vibrational level, the vibration you need to communicate, and many things which men are facing today, that the man is upset and telling the woman seafarer, before they tell the woman starts crying, and the man doesn't know how to handle it. And I'm convinced it is the lack of gender sensitization of men to deal with women on board, and even from a decision makers level, which is creating this thing of many of these aspects, because people are scared of how to deal with the situation. I entered another girl going out to see a young cadet, and don't even go into a man's room alone. And if you have a problem, don't tell anybody about it, because if you tell the problem, then the company will not take any women at all. So it's a planning to fail situation. We are sort of creating that. And before lunch, we came into a situation where we had Shruti here, and we had a discussion, and she was also asking what to do about this. And the development of individuals from a yoga point of view, all aspects of developing the intellect, developing the body, developing the mind, seems to be one solution for both sides. Okay, not just the physical hatha yoga, the postures and all that. That doesn't. You can have pure yoga. We're not talking about all that.
Mental yoga.
We are talking about really making ourselves emotionally strong and intellectually strong, and that seems to be one solution. The second, specifically for men, is to understand and sensitize that since women over ages and ages have been suppressed, and this emotional, how does man deal with that? And having programs, not just computer-based tests to know if man understands women, but actually behavior-based tests to create such situations where the captain is here, I have a woman, they have an issue, and she really cries in front of him, and make him deal with that. That's number two. So because when you look at one of the corrective measures is through legislation.
I
And
can put one more aspect to that situation when you are talking about that girl starts crying and the captain is looking how to deal with the situation. And the other aspect of that, if she's not crying and she's giving head on, the other guy doesn't take
he
it.
doesn't take it. Yeah. But
So which one is the better situation? She
Uh,
gives head on or she cries?
no, so
I will prefer the first one when she gives head on. So men need to learn that head on situation also. So So sensitization not only to handle emotional thing,
Yeah.
but unexpected thing that yes, they can get a headstrong lady also, and it is not scarcity nowadays.
I, we see that, but the solution is not the more, that will not create a future solution. I mean, for the time
But we
being.
need to find solution to those conditions
Absolutely,
also, because
absolutely.
that ends up,
So-
really bad.
So there is a, we did a small exercise before, three different behaviors, what is called aggressive behavior, which is what,
From either end.
yeah. We're not talking about man, when we talk about gender sensitization, it is for the best of both.
Both.
So it's not that one is right and one is wrong. There's aggressive behavior, and aggression causes heat, and then that heat causes light. You know, in physics we have learned sound, heat, and light. So create a lot of sound, yeah, and then create upset between two people and heat, and then create light. That's physics for us. But sometimes that doesn't work because the power, the personal authority takes the sound out of the ship. So, as passivity, so the woman crying is it considered passive? Would it consider woman crying at that time passive?
क्या बोला साहब?
नहीं, आप कोई लड़की को you are trying to discipline the situation, okay, and she starts crying in front of you. Would you consider that she is passive at that moment in time? What is the conversation in your mind? Captain Rizvi? I want to
She is
mention.
venting out her emotions.
Okay.
That is the
But what does it appear to you?
She is not
You have
passive.
scolded your wife starts crying.
No, she is not passive. No.
Forget the other girl. You scold your wife and she starts crying.
She is not passive.
She's
What?
trying to convince.
Actually, my opinion depends upon, first of all, what are the nature if
No, what is the impact on you? See, the best training program for us
In
is
our
women with our
language-
wife and our children, our mother, right?
In our language, it is called emotionally blackmail.
I want to get that from him.
That is a correct word, but
See,
we should not
so-
take in a gender.
So on the own boosting can be happened.
When in ship term, we should not tell, but when we talk to wife and all,
So you consider it emotional
It
blackmail,
amounts
and
to-
many men would consider it emotional blackmail, right?
most of the
So
time it
what
happens.
conversation can we have that we wipe that out from our slate and say it is not emotional blackmail? See, that's what we've done today. It is the way of being.
Yes, we have to means.
It is their way of being. Can you get that?
We
This
have to
is
see-
the side conversation men have.
We have to see her point
This is
of
the side
view.
conversation
also.
men have. Yeah.
Maybe we need to see why she's crying. Maybe
Yeah,
she's
but
not
her-
crying for the reason,
her point, no, no.
Maybe she's being asked to do something which she's unable to do
Correct.
and not in her limit. and
That's why-
she's
that's-
not able to
She's
convince.
being
and
helpless. She's
She's
being
feeling
helpless.
helpless.
That's why this point I took in two points. If you talk about your home alone, then it is called in a lighter vein or actual term emotionally blackmail. But this cannot be taken in a ship way. Ship way we have to appreciate and understand
The professional.
why she is the way she
Yeah,
has told.
maybe
Why?
there's some logic
Ah,
behind
there
it.
has to
Maybe
be
what
some
you're saying
logic.
is true, but you need to find out that
Ah,
is
we
there
have to
any
find
other
out the
reason
points.
for
What is the
that?
point why she is crying?
Also, if if the woman is headstrong and the man starts crying, so what is that called emotional blackmail on the man's side too?
Well,
In a sense, yes.
the environment we're trying to create here is the problems we have identified here is that a man without crying is actually going and having a drink or two to suppress his emotions.
Because we last time said that it's venting out and it's positive feeling.
Yeah.
But then if a
It is
woman crying
positive.
could also be venting out.
And
Yeah.
as
that's
well.
what we see emotional men also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
we do,
both
we do,
ways.
we do see. So what you missed in the morning is a bit of research what we have done. Is that, I go back to that slide, just show you. So quick question because this conversation leads to, is it? See, when you look at the functions of the body, mind and intellect, So what has happened, first thing I want to say, this is not a me versus you situation, okay? This is not a me versus you situation, this is not a man versus woman situation. We are here, both of us are here to look at solutions, to look at things to, like I told, initially this program started off with empowering men to deal with empowered women.
And that's a very right approach.
Yeah, I totally agree, but my colleague Captain A.P. Singh made me change that, he said empowering men and women to deal with each other. So, my plea is for women to be more compassionate with men and the inability to deal with women. You know? Why we have researched for why what has happened and come to this stage is because unknown to us over the years, certain people like Mr. Darwin and many others made a lot of mistakes. You know, they said that women are supposed to be slaves, women are this thing, that thing. Then because they're childbearing, and this is how it developed. Now suddenly from the information age, things have become wiser. Okay, when you talk about wise, there was no data, information, knowledge, wisdom, so now became wiser. So now technology has empowered you, right? Since technology has empowered you, the only way to empower men is spirituality. You already had spirituality in you. And that's why the book was written. So, how do you look at this from this context is that the body, mind and intellect, so Sunidhi's got a body, mind, intellect. Your body perceives your organs of sight, organs of the mind feels and emotes, and the intellect thinks, thoughts and thinking. Okay.
Evaluates.
Pardon?
Evaluates.
Evaluation, yeah. But then that thinking, so when you see something, thought, that thought becomes a feeling. Okay, that feeling gets stored as a positive or negative, right? So what has happened in this is that because of the childbearing and women, the thing and the beginning of the thing nature, and the child couldn't speak to you, you've developed very powerful competency, the psychic competency of intuition. So when I go home and open the door, my wife knows what a day I had. You know? And I hate it. Why should she know what happened in my office? So you girls, you guys, you girls have developed yourself so powerfully emotionally. We are not developed emotionally. I personally have. It took me so many bathrooms to cry out, take out my anger in me, take out all the angst in me. That's why I told you to go. Did you do that exercise? No.
Went out.
Went out.
Went out.
Whenever you speak to him, no, he's looking so handsome and smiling. When you
Jor
speak
se
to him and he
chilla.
doesn't, something happens wrong, you can see he wants to kill somebody. So you go and vent out that. Okay, and that's all hidden emotions in us. And so this is where we haven't developed ourselves. Whereas we have developed ourselves intellectually. So this intellectual development, you have now got technology to take care of. You can drive a car without even intellect. Okay. With Google Maps, you know, I was driving my daughter once in USA and Bindas, she's going at high speed and I was a pilot. I think you would turn right next, left. And the first time Google was there, she missed that turn. She said, why? So miss it, okay, don't worry, there's an alternative route to get there. So everything an alternative route, you know, that's the first time I heard, and I never used to Google Maps those days. So technology has helped us so much, and the way my daughter and my wife can understand me, I can't understand them. And that's a weakness in me, I accept it. But can you be compassionate towards that weakness in me? Many men won't tell you about it. They will make a man's club and and they'll cover themselves
pretend to be.
Huh?
powerful.
Pretend to be powerful. Yeah. Ensure no more women go on board.
Yeah.
I don't know how to handle. Instead of saying I need to educate and sensitize myself. Yes. So, can I request all the women group and seafarers to take this cue and just help us help ourselves?
Already has
So you have developed yourself so well here, and where spirituality leadership is, you also have the ability to go to the zero level and reach the unconscious and get infinite knowledge. We men need to do yoga to reach there now. That, according to me, is the solution. Yoga, not just the different marketing yogas which are going on, but yoga of the entirety. Yoga of the body, yoga of the mind, yoga of the intellect. So this is what, I mean, we did this in the morning. With this background is what we are discussing. Okay, we are in this together. Right? I can really get your angst and, I can see the, so all this is the impact. The impact being denied interviews, senior juniors not getting the promotion, command, etc., are all impacts. But to correct that, we need to correct the thoughts.
thoughts.
Yeah, the thought, the mind.
But the
See,
thoughts-
the question here is, mindset is a very European word. Mind in Europe is only brain. Mind in India is brain and heart. So when you say mindset to me, why you mean the heart also? No, the, yeah, obviously, you get it, you're Indian. No, but then we got through Western education, you see. So, since a lot of people are also listening to that, they think mind means give him some more test and give him some more intelligence, some more intelligence. No, some more intelligence will not do. There will be exercises to make them emotional. One, I want you to cry. What can make you cry?
Sure, very well. शुरू करो.
Huh?
शुरू करो.
When have you cried last?
Whenever moving companies, and every company saying the same thing. They only
He is also in the same boat.
Yeah, I said same thing, but it becomes, 20% only for women because 80% deny.
No,
So
it is-
I'm saying same thing, but yes, there are more.
after when I get something on my back, yeah, someone is at back of me, and I should not to cry, I have to cry. Definitely I will cry.
Can you repeat that? Sorry?
I should not have to cry. I have to cry, and definitely I will cry.
Now, what is the back of you? I didn't get it.
If someone is back of me who's helping me, like as a
You have a support.
Backing.
like as a some things I will get, that time I will feel I am strong, but
Yeah.
I am not weak at this moment. Then,
So how do you, when that moment of weakness, how do you access that power that there's somebody with you?
it comes from the soul care means I will
So
get
are you exercising your soul? And that is yoga, okay? So it's not at that moment in time you start doing yoga. You have a problem, you start meditating. No. You do meditation and that meditation will help you at that time.
This gives a boost up.
You get it? At that moment in time, you don't discount these practices. These are, our Prime Minister has made possible for the world to celebrate a World Yoga Day. We go to the government, there's a whole book on yoga. So you can't even tell today that I don't know what yoga is. But the whole problem is that, this is now mandatory, okay? This is now mandatory. So mandatory has got its problems. If something is compulsory, it's a sure way of destroying it. Yoga was not mandatory in a country because it's a self-regulatory procedure. When you make something mandatory, this is a sickness now. Though there's so many institutes, okay, mandatory, PG approved courses, mandatory. It has corrupted the whole education. When I did my second mate, mates and masters, there's no mandatory part of it. We went there out of our own choice to go and learn. There's no BG approved institute, I think, for our masters. Okay. So if yoga is made mandatory, it won't work. It has to be made self-regulatory. Self means spiritual elf. It's a short form. उस self को निकालने के लिए you have to do that continuously. There's no point going to companies and hurting yourself if you don't understand yourself. When that company is refusing you, you are the cause in that matter. How about creating? That when this company will select me. Good. You went for a few interviews. So why didn't you get in? Because of whom?
Because myself.
Got it. Not because of them. Not thinking as a victim. Not thinking as a victim. Not feeling bad about it. Powerfully, okay, I screwed up, man. ISM code is I screwed up, made code. That's spirituality now. You getting it? So in a relationship, when I would speak to that girl who's crying in front of me, there is a competency of just being. Just being. And you try, forget, don't be attached. You know, if a person, cadet is there with you on the ship, you are attached to that cadet, to your life, to your job. But try it on a plane. There's a small child crying over there, very irritating, no? The ears can, just be. Just be to the child. Just send her love and she'll stop crying. But you say, crying will increase. And that goes towards handling human relationships too. How do you think I survived my marriage? Just by being.
I need to tell her.
So her being is so powerful too. Her being is so powerful too. They were witness to a small incident this morning. And who trained me for that? Sir? Right?
Each other.
Huh?
Each other. You
Each
trained
other,
her and
yeah.
she trained you.
I trained her in logic and she trained herself in.
Either way.
There's no doubt about it. So, summarizing this, women have empowered themselves unconsciously or consciously, emotionally very well. And we really, hats off to the power of your emotions. Okay. I want men to consider it's not their weakness. Okay. And because in men's conversation, it's a weakness. And that conversation need to stop. Because if you tell her weakness, then she has no other thing but to shout. Go the other way around. And there's a very unique case of a senior officer on board who was being told by the authority on board that I knew this girl will do this way. And she has taken that case up as a sexual discrimination case. And the authority had to come down on the knees and say, please, you want to sign off. I made a mistake, forgive me. So, there's nothing girl or boy about a functional wrong which has been done on board. It's a competency issue. Company's got a girl and boy not written next to it. Where we are still stopped is that if you look at the Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act, it has a woman endowed committee to look after the complaints. Okay? And on board ship there are not many women. I mean, this may work ashore.
Not possible.
So, the invitation here is to make men, to bring out the women in men. That means the emotional part, to train people emotionally. That's where we can see, that's what today's solution, what I see, the yoga and training their emotions, to bring out those emotions, to have programs so that then only can they handle women on board. So, there is definitely a conversation going on of having this woman on board. There's so much more problems. And is there any area which you think that women can help us take better, powerful decisions for both the genders, so that let's say by 2025 or 2030, at least 50% of women working on board are women. 50% of
That
people.
is one thing that will definitely go back, because if you see this airlines industry, 20 years back you might have not seen so many, lady pilots. But if you fly today, maybe one of the crew, either first pilot or the second pilot is the lady, flying. And it's a global thing, it has happened last 20 years only. And where we lost it. We also started 20 years, 25 years back only, and we are not that way. So something is there.
Then I can see,
definitely we need
because
to have more and more numbers here.
in a flight today, 97% of the time a flight is taken off and is finishing is autonomous. 3% is a human intervention number.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so maybe an autonomous ship, and
But
where
if you see from the days, from the 20 years back, when I used to say, and from today's shift, there is a huge difference. It is more of automation than a manual work. If you see the time between overalls, for the machinery, where we say, that girl might not be able to do, though I've done that also. But it's a totally different scenario. Now it is more towards operation than the maintenance, because maintenance is being taken care of by manufacturers themselves. Now it is taking rider or rider. So that way it is more and more operation, and it is more suitable for more women to join me. So that's why what you are saying, actually we are moving towards that only.
true. See, even though a plane can be fully automatic, still they have 2 human beings on board. That means you cannot have a ship also which is totally automatic without human beings.
Correct.
So technology, what I wanted getting present to is, since emotionally you are already strong and technology is your enabler, if you all will be the best people to handle autonomous ships.
But
Yeah.
in,
Now
but
it is
you know,
matter of operation only, and it is the,
Pardon?
flying
but
competence.
on board ship, see, flying slightly it has become more better, because 24 hours you are not there.
Yeah,
But
that's
but
very, that's
that
what
is the
coming.
main crux.
Main cause is that
Here
it's a
on
24/7 working
It
place.
may be autonomous or anything. If there are some manpower required to be there, they have to be on board. Previously, ATC used to be there more ladies. Then it became even aircraft.
Yeah.
But aircraft, you fly from here to there and then go to hotel. You are in, means sort of independent. Those normal like things are there. But when you go to onboard ship, you are 24 hours tied up.
So your workplace and your home residence is the same.
But
There
that is
that's
one hindrance. Hindrance
In a
means
But
plane,
it is, that could be the reason that we have not been successful. So, yes, it was not also having this. It's not
I'm not-
aeroplanes,
Yeah.
20 years back were totally manual. It was not like, they had to push things, really on their shoulder. It was not like that. So there is not much change in automation for the planes or from that time to this time
So,
also. But
so
yes,
one distinction we need to bring here, in the aircraft, I've seen when I sit as a pilot, the pilot comes, he's coming just before we boarded the plane,
right.
and he leaves immediately after that. So he's got a different life once he leaves the aircraft, the ship per
Yes.
se. So, which also has an impact on relationships.
That is the real impact.
This is something we need to look at.
Yeah,
anyone, that will be,
Today's discussion, I
that
can
will
see-
become, that will
I can
become
see
an at par.
I can see, if everything is technologically available, the competency required for that person to show will be the woman's competencies, the emotional competency.
Owner will like to hire
The
women more.
ability to monitor, that's something which needs to be, whether we can develop our women to more, because you're more intuitive, the sixth sense.
Yeah, but you need to have some kind of onboard experience before you
Yeah, so
switch
maybe-
to a sure job, otherwise you will not understand at all what the other part is saying.
That is mandatory, that is required.
So that's
That is
where,
that's
that's
for
that's
that,
where.
you need to have women on board.
So, bringing up, see, I'm totally into this concept of being deserving. What is being deserving? If you deserve, you get it. It's like, this deserves to fall, it falls, because of gravity and weight. You deserve to rise, you will rise. There's no doubt about it. Man-made rules may stop you, but finally, nature will take care of that. And if nature, every man comes in between, he's finished. I'm very clear about this. So, what is it to make ourselves being deserving? Versus, okay, if the thing is men's sensitization, what I can get from here is man develops himself emotionally and builds up his ability to, intuit. Where women is concerned, you've got technology enabling that you already have. Are you present to your competency? I think many women are not present to the power which they have.
Intuition is one of them.
Intuition is one of them. You're not even power to the beautiful person you are many times and your impact on men. Yeah? And you get present to that. If you get present to that, intuition is your power, then, and the future is autonomous shift, which requires intuition for monitoring. That's where you could position yourselves into the future. And so we see this not just as the empowering men and empowering women course for society, let's say in the maritime society, we see a greater role that women seekers can play on autonomous ships. So that's where your energy is on. Now, how to get seed time for that? That could be sea stimulated time. It could be, and who, it's maybe manpower will say that you require. See, the apprenticeship can be done in different ways. In a cockpit, how much air time do they get? They don't get, it's one-to-one thing, right? So they do a lot of the time on the aircraft simulators. So autonomous ships training, an apprenticeship, maybe a lot on the simulators. A lot of simulators. There is no gender discrimination issue, and maybe that's something you all can
No, if
consider.
owner wants, they can send girls also on board ship. Main problem,
On board ship
job
right
not
now.
getting.
They are denied the opportunity.
Yes, they are
They
denied,
are not
they-
even ready to interview her to check her.
Correct. Out of places, they don't want to, means in a word, to initiate only.
Initiating,
There are
because
a
we
lot of
don't
reasons.
have systems in place on board.
Correct.
See, if you require safety, you require ISM code, there is no prevention of sexual harassment or discriminating women code on board the ship. There is in different forms as a policy, but as a practice, as a competence. I'm talking as a competence. I mean, when we interview many girls risk management on what is the hazards of going on board the ship. Maybe those, I've got to now bring those risk management sheets out and share with you, maybe you all can, and that risk management, the hazards, which are induced, inherited, perceived, and the controls we need to put in place. And if such a thing that we can put on board as a Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act, I think it will serve the Indian government. Thank you so much for-
Not only that, if
I'm
truly,
practicing, huh?
if truly government wants that ladies should be more employed, then they have to give some incentives, and public sector company has to take the lead first.
See, the law in incentives can you give?
Incentives, tax break, this thing, that.
Fees, all incentives.
No, those incentives telling the way 400 owners. Then also 80% will tell मगज आगे घुमाने का.
Only 10 to 15% of Indian CBR are sailing on Indian ships.
Yes.
So that's too smaller. An Indian government can't influence the foreign ships. to
No,
be
they
like-
can't do.
Right? So, whom they can influence are the RPS companies.
RPS.
Our Indian government's access to Indian seafarers on board foreign ships is to the RPS companies only.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, of course, we got our IMEC chairman now is Captain Rajesh Tandon, International Employees Association, maybe through him also, we should be able to influence this. So, whatever incentives you're talking about, we're not talking about the 10-15% on Indian ships only, we're talking about,
RPSL also they can do, that is also under DG only.
and
Make 25% of.
Not 25%.
25%.
just to summarize,
You take one person in a year, that is fine that they are taking.
this enlightened group today, they want to.
More than they find
So I'm not this. I'll tell you the consequence. Section 498, now they can give you life imprisonment also, till that. So, what for me I've gained in this course is that from all your interaction, that men need to develop themselves emotionally. Women need to be compassionate to men more, and not be feeling like victims.
That's very important, I'm going to do that.
Don't be generate yourself as victims all the time. Maybe we can have some type of a cell where women who feel like victims can address, and we can transform that thinking. Okay. Through conversation. For me, management is management conversations. You have the right conversations, you can change your whole. And that's what I do in the Being Deserving group. I only have conversations with you. Okay, I don't hit you, I don't smack you, I don't nothing like that, right? So we can see the future of women playing a major role in autonomous ships. There's a seminar coming in IMO now, you know that, on autonomous ships. Please interact with them, look at those who can participate in that. I think it's coming up this year or next year. And there's also, next year we're going to have ISMA. ISMA is the International Ship Federation of Shipmasters Association. One of the issues there is autonomous ships. Maybe you all should also participate in that seminar and impact the international shipmasters to look at how the women seafarers aspect can be important. What else? So these are the ways in the yogic aspects of developing all parts of your constituencies, which is your body, mind and intellect, besides just your gyan, is very important. And these assessments are not going to be just computer-based assessment, they're going to be behavior-based assessments, where somebody observes and that observer says, okay, I observed in this condition, this particular person has performed well, where the man-woman relationship is concerned, or the woman has behaved well. That's very important. What the world has now recognized, only 30% of your competencies are technical, 70% are based on behavioral competencies. So, but then, for convenience sake, so don't please just accept a DG approved certificate that you're competent. Okay? That's only representing 30% of your competency. You need to go much beyond that. You need to go, and if you really want to work it yourself, you just think I read all second mate's portion, now I'm second mate and now I'm competent. I got my exams first shot. No. You still may not be able to hand that woman on board. So, behavioral competencies are key. And for behavioral competence to develop, behavioral assessments are important. Behavioral competence cannot develop with technical assessments. Right? So, can I just now take a feedback from each of you? What have you gained today? And then we just make you present with the spirituality, the divine competencies for women and men. which we. So, Rohit, you want to start off? Did we do this? You got the difference between infatuation and love? Infatuation we did, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is love and what's the difference between infatuation? How do you know somebody loves you? Yeah.
When he accepts you with your difference.
So acceptance is a very important aspect. You do with your strengths and defect, everything. Okay. So
Which is not there in infatuation.
it's not there in infatuation. Infatuation is more about valuing differences, so so difference of infatuated.
Yeah, caring, understanding.
Infatuation is just feeling.
Acceptance. No,
Infa-
love is, yeah.
Infatuation you just feel.
It's extra.
There is no,
Yeah.
Something is
Infatuation
good and you
external.
are just liking it because it looks
and
good.
either party is not aware of that.
Yes, the dark side they are not aware.
I may be infatuated to someone, she may not
No,
be.
you
or
got a
he
very
may not
important
be.
point is that infatuation is more external,
Yes,
whereas love is more internal.
Internal.
Yes.
Very
Beautiful,
correct.
beautiful distinction.
Yeah.
Consider love as a feeling or
Feeling.
love as doing.
doing, correct.
What is more important? When you do something for another, or just feel, I feel love for you.
Both are important because till the time you don't feel it, you will not do it. Do is more mechanical.
Okay, so if you
You
look
need
at
to
our,
have feeling
if
to
you
do
look
it.
at our ancient the system of arranged marriages,
To feel first.
you feel first,
Do first.
You
and
do
in
first.
arranged marriage.
you do first, and then you come to feeling.
Get married.
Yeah, that's
Consider,
correct. Marriage is
consider, that is another
Marriage
way.
first.
But
Yeah,
that is you are made to do without your wish,
Yeah.
which can go wrong. But when you feel it and do it,
True,
that is
true.
more pure.
Or not always without wish.
What I'm saying, do it with your wish, that is your being,
Yes.
from your being, okay? If you're doing it.
That technically a
mandatory culture.
fait accompli.
So when I say doing it from self-regulatory culture, not from a mandatory culture. So you are opposed to a mandatory culture. Okay, so that's another way of suppressing women, which is very sad. So if you do from a, like what I am doing today, no, this is not a DG approved course. This is not mandatory.
Without sugar.
It's, she has some tea, coffee here.
No, thank you, please.
Nothing.
This is more interesting.
Yeah. Fast, fast. Give me coffee without sugar.
Coffee without sugar, but
Okay, so good. So in that case, what about sex? Is sex a form of lust or sex a form of necessity for having children?
marriage
Is for
for,
pleasure or for?
marriage is for children.
Right? You don't have to have, be married to have children.
It's nature.
It's nature.
You cannot deny the nature.
Okay. You know the meaning of the word sex, where sex came from? What is sex an acronym for? It's an acronym for spiritual experience. Okay? Spiritual, when you are unified, only that in sex, that spiritual experience is momentary. Okay.
It becomes necessity.
And then that same spiritual experience, when you can, which you can create with yoga and all that, is amazing. Okay.
Actually, just use it, actually depend. That is the point of time, your all thoughts, everything is focused.
You don't think of yourself.
No,
At that moment of this thing, you are not existing.
that is your spirituality.
But that is only for how much time?
Fraction of second.
Okay. So how about having that all the time in your life?
You will come out.
That is what yoga does to you. You know, and when you go into that, then you use sex as procreation. Alright? Consider, so we are creating new words to create a new world. Whereas the industry has created lust and pornography. Actually, the pornography was damaged a lot of things here. And whether you want to live up to the pornography industry or the medical industry for medicines, I mean, now we're finding naturopathy is the best cure. So don't tell my wife that she's in the pharmacy industry. Don't this you don't tell. So are you victims of marketing strategies? So if you're a victim, can you become a marketing strategist for yourself? If you know somebody has manipulated you so much, why don't you create the markets? Create markets for women seafarers to be on autonomous ships. When are you going to be creators? You know this is going to be the inherent strength. So is God a marketing strategy? I won't answer that, you just keep thinking about it. Right? So, and marriage, I told you earlier, is a distinction so that it's a child taking care of that child. The human child requires to be cared till about 16 years, where a cow's child doesn't require. Cow doesn't require marriage. Animals' children learn to take care of themselves very fast. Our children are weak. So society created marriage. Then you need to bring them up, when they come to the maturity stage, look after them, and till they can become independent. So the three stages the child goes through is dependent stage, independent stage, and then interdependent stage. So marriage is an interdependent reality. So suppose he is independent, she is independent, only these two people have the access to interdependent reality. If he is dependent and she is dependent, it cannot happen. So when you're leaving a woman dependent, don't expect interdependence from her, or the other way around. So my strive for three of you all is to make you all independent watchkeepers. Do you understand me, you independent watchkeeper? Not dependent watchkeepers. There's a lot of seafarers who are not dependent watchkeepers. You want the deck or engine? Deck side.
Either way, watches are there.
Huh? Watches are there. But independent decision making, that's what you should strive for. Okay? Great. So marriage is an interdependent reality. Okay, so we value differences, creating this, it creates attachment. So we spoke about a competency called detached attachment. We have to train our masters, chief engineers to be detached attachment. When you detach, that girl crying will not make a difference to you. You will be able to look at her concern, where she's coming from. Why you cry? Okay, don't speak to her. And look at men, if you don't have women on board, look at a man who's got woman-like qualities, you'll be able to understand her. Be a part of the conference, the counseling session. And he'll be able to get out from her what she actually wants to communicate. Okay. And many women get attached to that man on board who's got more, who can understand them. So not necessarily to authority.
Not only on board, experience.
Yeah. Thank you. So infatuation leads to lust. The differences, of man and woman make you lust. Love as feeling or doing it. So procreation, creation, and reaction. Okay, so if you look at the management philosophy now, you're going to act as a manager. Before that, you do a risk management. This is called be proactive, and then you have emergency on board, so you're reactive. So the three phases of your development, whether in marriage, whether in shore, so before you do anything, do a risk management. That's why you've been made to do risk management. So before you, when we do, I do risk management for the master's revalidation course. We make the participants do risk management before marriage. We ask people why you're married, and they don't know. Okay, so they do risk management, and we do risk management for entry in close space, risk management marriage, risk management for driving a car, risk management for conducting a course, risk management to for conducting a course, a video conference course. In India. So Indian industry needs to do a risk management to have get girls on board. And these 3-4 girls have done that. Bhageshri has done it. Priyadarshini has done it, and Amu Devraj has done it. Various risk management aspects. We can share that with you. Maybe that's one way to look at it. And understanding marriage as childcare and protection to the child. So is marriage required? No. Okay, so you want to manage the child without us.
It can be done, but you don't need a marriage to, bring up a child. If you see the ancient time when Adimana was there, they were not married. It's just a woman and man living and carrying a child. It's just a stamp. Marriage is just a stamp.
Just a stamp. Okay.
It's about the commitment two people can have for everything,
What about the-
including the child upbringing.
What about the assets that you have acquired?
Actually,
What about the assets?
the institutional marriage is found just, to have some, something like,
Exactly.
to avoid
If something
waywardness.
goes wrong, then what
Otherwise,
will happen?
It's no difference between us and animals, They also have kids and they also bring them up. Right,
It's only commitment.
Legality,
But with this thing of marriage, you have some certain, law, some restrictions to avoid.
So if you look at society as a whole, as it's not only about children, it's about assets.
assets, legality,
Okay.
constitution.
You sort of build up assets. In that assets, if you look at the Maslow hierarchy of needs, which is unfortunately going back down upwards, I'm against it. It says that there are physiological needs in roti, kapda, makan, sex, air. So now you have acquired food for the winter. So you want to, अभी नहीं खाने का उसको रखना है ना?
Asset.
So you want to keep it for the winter. So उसके लिए कुछ जगह चाहिए. So you build 4 walls. You have security. You create that. Now after that, अपने लिए सब बना दिया. But then the Rohit is also staying there in that house, So we need to interact with each other. There need to be social acceptance. I also need to look after some aspects of it. In the society, we can't just stay alone. In fact, somebody was saying today, the future house building is going to be a building where there's no cooking in each of the houses. All the cooking will be done common in the society. It's a beautiful concept, how it can work. The bottom floor will only be for common cooking for all the residents of the area. And everybody is supposed to eat over it. So the social acceptance and society needs is what was created. So you need to tell whether these are required or no. Be first clear about the intent of each of these things. Then, when this is needed, then again, usme you have a competition, make them improve themselves. So in that improving the esteem needs, the beta, this boy has done very well, that boy, and keep improving esteem. And then slowly those people come to understand that the self-actualization, that I'm just not a human being, I'm a spiritual being with a human experience. And I can create. Coming from that context, see whether marriage is required. If you look at just that, at the bottom level, I think it's not required. If you look at, and when you look at marriage required, look at 10 years from now. Look at 20 years from now. We have all technology in place that marriage can be dismantled today. But that's something which you need to look at. And how are those assets going to be protected? Is your child an asset? This movie 102 Not Out was fantastic. Have you seen it?
I won't watch it really.
Really great.
Trailer was really good.
Rishi Kapoor is the son and Amitabh is the father.
102.
And finally, he tells Rishi Kapoor, I'm going to take you to an old age home. So the first time father is going to take a son to an old age home. Because the way the son has been living, the victim has been so pathetic. And why are we doing a victim? Because his children have given, his one son has given up on him. And he empowers him so much that finally Rishi Kapoor has the courage to tell the son when he comes from USA, get out, don't enter my house. You know, which is,
You opened it.
pardon?
You opened the climax.
Yes, sir.
No,
Actually,
but not the climax. The climax is after that. I stopped there before the climax.
Okay, 90% done.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll
so,
still watch
so
it.
10% there. Alright, so, you all decide with management, but in my personal opinion, it's required. I'm still convinced my daughter on that. And,
What's the essence of marriage? If they are reduced, you're not against marriage, but what's the essence?
so if you delegate child caring to another institution, marriage is important.
That culture has also started.
Yeah, long back.
Hostels and
No,
places
no.
like that. Hostels and places like
जितेंद्र
that.
कलर का कहाँ शादी वादी थी?
Hostel, yeah, no, that. There are professionals looking after children, like in the sense, professional grandparents looking after them. And see, for me, let me tell you personally, for me, what marriage was. Marriage helped me discover the woman in me.
Because you get to see a woman only after the marriage, because otherwise it was only interaction. The knowing each other is
The type of
different, yeah.
it helped me discover the woman in me, totally. Got out the right brain aspect.
Previously interaction was also not there.
Yes, that's what.
Nothing was
So
there.
I'm thankful to that institution for that. That
And it
brought
was
out the
working well.
woman in me. So, do you want to bring out the man in you? Is the question actually, not whether marriage is required or no. Think about it, and that's a personal choice and a question. Okay? So, a strong woman is one who feels deeply, loves fiercely, tears flow abundantly as that laughter. A strong woman. So, she's on the emotional pendulum, as you can see that. Okay? If she can cry and laugh at the same time. A strong woman is both soft and powerful. She's both practical and spiritual. Strong woman, in essence, is a gift to the world. So we've done this the whole day. I'm not going to go into this. Perhaps if careful little boys were comforted instead of shamed, there wouldn't be so many angry men struggling to express and empathize with emotions,
Very
right?
true. Very true.
And I think, I'm receiving my invitation as a Breezy Institute, make your boys cry. And I mean, I would make them bring this across, bring out the woman in them,
We need you, sir.
from the right brain.
That's been paradox.
सेशन शुरू कीजिए.
Yeah.
half an hour cry.
Planning some sessions.
A strong man is one who feels deeply, loves fiercely. His tears flow just as abundantly as laughter. A strong man is both soft and powerful, being both practical and spiritual. A strong man is a gift to the essence of the world. Can we say that?
See, you are not differentiated.
Same exactly आपने मार दिया.
No, can we say it? My question is, can we say
Yes.
it?
Yes.
So all our shipping industry, RPS people are, they feel deeply, love fiercely, their tears flow abundantly, and their laughter. They are both soft and powerful, practical and spiritual, and gift to the seafaring profession. And they will increase the number of girls going on board.
If it happens.
Huh?
You have doubts?
If it happens.
No.
If this happens, yes.
All right. So we've done this in the morning. This is very critical. Are empowered women disempowering women? And empowered women disempowering men? Is this fair creature represent a threat to men or should be welcome? Should be welcome. Any woman appearing to possess these qualities, but then who uses them against men is not empowered as she thinks she is. So we've said that because emotionally you are strong, if you think you're going to empower women, disempower men, you are in the wrong thing. And maybe that's one of the reasons of concern that women are not getting involved. So consider that in your women's organization, if you can do something to get this.
I know this thing from the other industries, but women has not reached to that level yet in seafaring.
Whatever it is, we have to start from it. We have to assume that they have reached and do that. That we need to take this precaution proactively at this stage before they do that. What weakens the case of women is somewhat suspicious of the rabidly anti-male feminist. So no woman should become an anti-male. That will become a problem. Okay? So this is what a castration dynamic, the dominion of man over woman, created the powerless of women. Women only had power over home and children, and women had power over the son. And this son, when he gets into relation to the wife, he doesn't know how to manage that. And the woman, the wife said, "You are your mommy's boy." There's divorce. Maybe the woman is telling the truth. And he doesn't know how to manage both. So maybe there's a case here. Many male seafarers are not getting married now. Okay, maybe the reason is they are away from home, but this also could be a reason they become mama's boys. So the pendulum swings from tyranny to passivity. There's emotional, mental, and physical effect on men also. On women. So this correction can only be done by bringing the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Pardon?
You're talking about Shiva.
Yes. So this is the man and woman, and there's a nice line in between. We have to dissolve that line, right? Posh Act is drawing that line. What we are looking at is to dissolve that line, okay? So does it dissolve? Not in this. So the book can dissolve, right? Can you just show them that page? Yeah, that particular page. Yeah, that one which you opened up. So this is the final
Page number.
which page that? When these pictures come together, this is what we have. So you may be bodily different.
11.
You may be bodily different, page number 11. Yeah. But psychologically, you be one. It's possible. Right? So what's the divine masculine? The divine masculine, let him get to understand that his left brain is developed a lot, very logical. He's always in the doing. He's the one who takes the risks, logical thinking, decisive in action, pushing through the process, which is what the divine female we've done in the morning, the right brain activity. Feeling as a being. The feeling is a lot in the woman. Compassionate and understanding. He's calm, receptive. She's calm, receptive, nurturing connection. Now when we combine these two, this is the divine feminine, divine masculine. The behavioral competencies we require for the future are this type. We sympathize both. So it's possible to develop these competencies from both sides. Connective, co-creative, supportive, spacious, resilient, destiny, creation, creator of your destiny is all possible. Okay? So, we miss the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and the final, I'll just show it to you here. So a man doing things with the left brain takes risks. He's the one going out hunting, you see. So that's what 38. You know, if you want to really make hell for a woman, put you in a room with one rat, you know, and a lot of hell will break loose, or a cockroach for that matter. So, at the same time, it is the worst thing is when you have power and you misuse it against another person. Not able to handle. Logical thinking, decisive action, push through the process. There's a lot of doing area. Gaadi chalana, but they are the feeling area. Okay, use the right brain, feeling of being compassionate, understanding, calm, receptive, and we got to combine these things to synthesize them, which comes into connective, co-creative, supportive, spacious, resilience, and destiny. So, this book, we have programs on resilience, on reflective learning, on listening, on focusing. The whole itinerary is there in that blue sheet over there. We got on the program on that. What else do we have? We have not yet developed the detached attachment. So we have proposed these competencies to DG Shipping as 2025 STC development. Okay. And feeling as a victim, I don't think it may go in this form because maybe somebody else will try to put it in some other form. But I'm so happy to state that Shell has already bought resilience and reflective learning as part of the thing, and I was aware of, though they bought it 2-3 years back, I came to know about this just a day after I wrote the chapter on resilience. So this sheet here talks about the spirituality awareness program, one-day program, which gives you a jhalak of each of the competencies. There's one powerful program on listening and focusing, listening for concerns, listening to create. So all these are women competencies, which I'm giving you, don't tell them. Okay? And the who am I, going through a whole process of that. Detached attachment. Okay? Mindfulness. You see, when a girl gets married, no? Who cries the most? The father or the mother?
Mother.
Right? The mother has got detached attachment as a competency. The father is too attached. Right? What you need to practice to have with that woman seafarer is crucial communication. Crucial communication will give exercise on how to remove those concerns, understand that concern without detached. I mean, now her crying is making you totally confused, right? Kya karna hai? But crucial communication goes for that. The difference between responsibility, authority, and accountability, relationships, reflective learning for transforming culture. Okay, spirituality management. So spirituality management is what we're trying to come up now into the future. Spiritual leadership we've done. Spirituality management was every September Teachers' Day I conduct a program. So the target for this thing will be either spirituality management or somebody has invited me to habits of highly effective teachers. Maybe I'll do that. But spirituality management is very important. Creating possibilities. We told you about purposes, creating goals in life. But doing that goal, how to be that possibility. So right now, though we want to be the possibility of love for our family, I was telling them earlier, there's a lot of crap in us. And crap with ice cream still leaves it as crap. So no point, so you need to know how to take out the crap to fill up yourself with the love, compassion that you really are. And then it's a possibility. The day I told you making that child stop crying, there's no crap there for me. That's what makes the child. But if you put yourself crap, you can't, your mother can't look after you. That's all crap, okay? All the conversations in your head. That can stop you from accessing that competency. So creating possibility, and this is where male seafarers have to, when women come about, be yourself a possibility, commitment to that woman having a very powerful life on board. And of course, team and teamwork. You want, we can, who's heavier, you or you? You are, right?
Yeah.
We We can lift you up with your fingers, just spirituality. 4 of us. But that's another course that we have to take. Okay. To show you the power of team and teamwork. Empowerment, indeed, Empower Women is 14th program here. So these are the programs which we have, and they're all towards building up these aspects of the human being. So when somebody is arguing with you, now you have this blank picture there. You want to fill this up there. You can do that. What page is it?
Yeah.
Just fill this up.
13 page.
So normally, when you get upset with somebody, Rohit, you are not. So, Rohit के पीछे ही पड़ा है. So, we can't do name calling, isn't it? Husband, your mother is this, your father is this. Now, arguing is, that is one level of arguing. Okay? The second level is, you attack the characteristic authority of the writer to address the substance of the argument. You are always like this. You are a woman, you will always behave like this. Third is, you criticize the tone of writing without addressing the substance of the argument. The critical part of it. This is not right, that's not right, etc., etc. The fourth is state the opposing case with little or no supporting evidence. You know, so and so told me this, so and so told me that. Refutation. Find the mistake and explain why it is mistaken using quotes. So you won't go directly with quotes. But what you need to do in building up this is explicitly refer the central point. Come to the central point. What is your issue? You are not supposed to disrespect my mother and my space, period. You are a girl cadet on board. These are the rules and regulations. You're not supposed to go into a man's cabin, period. But have you had those policies in place? The central thing is, man doesn't know how to manage a girl. So why do you want to be a hazard for him? It's not me, that's what Radhika told that girl cadet. Learn to have your arguments from that point of view. What is the context you're coming from? Okay, and that will help you a lot. While the struggle for equality is real and the issues that still face women remain formidable, I always sense in my heart that the feminist who is seriously anti-men is not entirely happy of being female either. If you're comfortable being female, you will never be anti-men. Perhaps she feels weak, so attempts to look strong by trying to beat men at their own game, encouraging women to behave more like men to get ahead of life and career. So apparently so many feminists became feminists because a man in their lives did something bad to them. The paper is called Andrea Dworkin. Why didn't you Google her and see? The most famous example of this kind of feminist, I'm encouraged by the fact that more mainstream figures of women have written, such as Germaine Greer, Gloria Steinem, Betty Friedman, Sherry Hindi, had no such dreadful experiences. And I'm sure Sunidhi and all you people here will also be writing a lot where you really transform how men look at men. Okay, that's what I'm creating. I'm acknowledging you for being here and creating future for people to have that space on board that women will be respected and loved and given the right place. And I'm holding you accountable for that. You accept it. I want to put your name there.
Don't take a bit. I'm trying my best, but.
Okay, good. So, some of the issues men faces. Is it wrong to ask a woman for sex later?
Yes, it's wrong.
Wrong? Okay. Why is it? Huh?
Easy.
Yeah.
Because a man can relate sex as an act, but a woman doesn't. She relates it as a feeling, as an emotion.
As a commitment also?
Yes.
But by asking and you have the right to say no. So the
Because
behavior,
he doesn't understand women at all. Then-
absolutely. No, but suppose, that is true, we don't understand women, okay? Because.
Not even trying. Not even trying. So that's worse.
It's true, it's very true, we don't understand women. In fact, morning, Captain AP Singh made a statement, he
It is
said, the
difficult
worst
to-
thing men do is try to understand
It
women.
is difficult to understand.
Accept them without understanding them, okay? And that will be a more powerful way. What do you all have to say? I mean, man acts, sorry you're being personal, but they ask for sex, they do you, is it considered wrong on your part or right, or how would you handle it? So consider three behavior patterns. One is aggressive, one is passive, one is assertive. How would an aggressive woman behave? How would a passive woman behave? And so aggressive is, how dare you, okay? Passive, he asked me. An assertive could say, no, I don't want to say. I've got a man in my life, I don't. Possible?
Yes, for aggressive women, it is, in foreign world, it is nowadays, it's quite natural.
No, I'm talking about when a man asks a woman for sex.
Yes, that's what I'm telling.
So does it depend, how the reaction, does it depend on the aggressive nature of the woman, the
That's
passive
why I'm
nature?
telling you,
etc.?
if it is someone is aggressive woman, for her it is okay. She may ask, agree, she may not agree.
Assertive woman, assertive.
Aggressive also.
No, aggressive would get upset in this context. Or aggressive would go the other way around also.
May bounce back,
Yeah.
punch.
Right? So there's a need for women to be trained to become.
Not interested, he may be
If he
aggressive.
doesn't listen, this will take care of him.
In general, saying,
Yes.
This will take care of him. No means no.
foreign
वो
बोलता
नहीं
है,
देखा क्या?
foreign बोलता है, okay, fine.
लोगों ने लगता नहीं देखा।
हाँ?
There are very desperate.
No means no.
नहीं तो that becomes the mad no.
Woman only assertive.
No, both ways, both ways. Both ways, both ways. Hey, what would a man do?
Ah, yes.
Hello, we coming there. What would a man do when women ask him for sex? Insult them.
Here also it depends. Some aggressive will make punch.
Yeah.
No, he will immediately try to judge the character of woman.
Maybe that amounts to same punching, no?
So again, that depends on whether he's aggressive, passive, or assertive.
Yeah.
Okay. An aggressive guy would yeah, and go into telling all the people involved.
Yes.
This is again,
Try to
you'll be
defame.
taken care of it.
Try to defame.
So, right, a passive guy would go and